Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for our November Oracle Analytics Live. As we allow people to start joining, we'll just start in a minute here. Oops. Let's see. If you want to introduce yourself and what country you're from in the chat. As we're going through the webinar, if you have any questions, please be sure to put them in the Q&A section, not the chat section. In the chat section, I'll be putting links to what's being mentioned in the webinar for you to reference. And let's see here. And thanks everyone for joining. I know I switched up the registration link. This link will now give you access to all the upcoming OA Lives. You'll get emails. If at whatever time you want to unsubscribe, you can scroll down to the bottom of the Zoom email and hit unsubscribe. All right, let's get started here. We've got a lot to cover today. This is our safe harbor statement. I'll leave this up for a moment. All right, so on our agenda today, we're going to talk about the Oracle Analytics community. We're going to take a look at some upcoming events, the product roadmaps. We'll see new features for November, as well as visualizing geometry data. We'll have a demo from Fusion Data Intelligence, as well as some data visualizations from the Oracle team to get you inspired to create your own. As always, at the end, there'll be that live Q&A session. So if you have any questions throughout, drop them in the Q&A section. We'll answer them either throughout the presentation or at the end. All right, so I am Alex Toothman. I'm going to talk about the Oracle Analytics community. So you may be familiar with this page, but we've really relaunched it. And we want you to join the community if you haven't. So if you have joined the community, let us know in the chat. We'd love to get acquainted and meet you. But on the community, if you haven't joined yet, or you need a refresher about what's on the community, it's a great place to ask questions. You can access training. You can find events and webinars. You can share your ideas for product enhancements. You can find user groups around the world. You can share data visualizations, discover the product roadmap. Let me see if I can give you a quick, see if I can give you a quick demo, maybe not sharing my screen. Let me just switch here and I'm going to show you what the new version is looking like. All right, I think you should be able to see my screen. So this is what the redone Oracle Analytics community is looking like. It's absolutely beautiful. You can access forums to ask ideas, the events, the user groups, the Idea Lab, like I mentioned. We have this section for featured news. You can see TK Anand, EVP, his keynote from Cloud World. We have a video of the product roadmap, the data visualization gallery. We're going to have some guest presenters on here. So if you have a really cool data visualization you'd like to share, please go ahead and post it on here. Give us a little description. You can see news and announcements, events, training. So that's just the homepage. You have access to more information up here. I'm going to put the link in the chat to access the community. To look through it, you don't need to join, but we want you to join. We want you to be a member of the community and connect with us. So let me just switch back to my PowerPoint here. Okay. I think you should be able to see my screen. If not, someone stop me. I'm going to talk about the Oracle Analytics Ambassadors. So this is an award for the most active members on the community that offer guidance and solutions on the community. So like I said, in the forums, you can ask questions. These members have just been great members of the community, answering questions, being active. They've submitted ideas for product enhancements. They've given solution to other community members. So we really wanted to recognize their effort and thank them for really helping us to create a thriving analytics community. If you'd like to become an ambassador, please, one of the ways is just to increase your activity on the community website. All right, enough of that. Let's take a look at what events we have coming up, and I am going to hand it over to Maddie.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Alex. Hi, everyone. I'm Maddie Gregor-Wilson. I'm a senior product manager within the Analytics Product Strategy Group, and I'm really excited to take you through some of the things we have coming up. If you wouldn't mind jumping to the next slide, Alex, that would be fab. Thank you. Okay, so for my FDI folks, we've got a couple sessions coming up to be on your radar, both being led by some excellent SEAL resources we have here. On December the 2nd, we have a customer onboarding session, so this will be perfect for those of you at the very start of your FDI journey. And we also have a SEAL Guidance Office Hours session on December the 11th. That'll be for those of you with more specific questions around your implementation that will want to turn up and get those specific questions answered. You can find access to both of those, and I think most of these on the Oracle Analytics community site, and specifically on the events tab. Looking into more of the OAC content, we do have the Analytics AI Assistant webinar on December the 3rd. This will be focusing around some of that Gen AI features that we've announced in the product recently, and it will be led by Jacques Vigeon, the PM responsible. So if you are looking to dig into those capabilities a bit more, please do join us on December the 3rd. Moving through into more of the networking style events, we have the Oracle Data and AI Forum coming up in Atlanta. We will have some analytics presence there as well, and that will be on December the 12th. So if you'd like to mingle with some other Oracle customers and get to grips with the latest innovations in the Oracle space, do attend that session. Finally, looking at starting up the new year with some good analytics content, we will have the Customer Advisory Council with TK Anand on January the 9th. This will be a session to register for if you'd like to turn up and share your unique use case with product management, give them a bit of an idea of how you're finding either Oracle Analytics Cloud or FDI. And they'll be able to either chat back and forth about your use case, maybe learn a bit more about what you're trying to do with the product, and potentially give you some top tips to get even more value out of the Oracle Analytics technology. Alex, if you wouldn't mind jumping forward, I will tell everyone about the event that's closest to my heart. So looking at launching in February next year, we will be hosting the first Oracle Run Data Visualization Challenge. So you may have participated previously in a data visualization challenge run by potentially OD Tug or ANDOUC, but this year Oracle is bringing our own one to the table. Registration for this launches in December 2024, and by registering for that, you will get access to Oracle Technology, OAC, a number of data sets that we've pulled together for you, and we will give you the opportunity to see what you can create from that. Any customer and partner users are welcome, whether you're experienced or not with Oracle Analytics. Really, we're just here to see what you can create with Oracle's products. And I'm really excited to say we have a couple winners from our internal competition that we led last year that will be presenting to you very shortly on what they managed to produce. With that, I will hand back to Alex. I think it's Fari next, actually.
We are. Thanks, Maddie, for the update. We're going to take a look at the product roadmaps briefly with Fari.
Thanks, Alex. Hello, everyone. This is Fari Javanbakti, and I'm a Senior Principal Product Manager with the Product Strategy team. I'm just going to highlight some of the features on the OAC and FDI roadmap. I know we're short on time, so let's see what we can get. So, Alex, if we can move to the next slide. Perfect. So in regards to the current capabilities that are being released in the latest version, I know Avinash and Philip will cover most parts, so I'm not going to go through that. But in regards to the upcoming and future releases, we are having a lot of enhancements and features coming up in regards to the homepage experience. So we will have updated homepage catalog, homepage custom groups, and custom themes. Also, the saved canvas layouts is among one of the highly asked features that we are looking forward to. You may have heard about the AI assistant that is being available now for some of our customers with larger shapes. and it will gradually become available to the rest of our customers as well. You will hear that in the event that Maddie just introduced. Also for the future releases, and also just a reminder, upcoming releases normally refer to the next two releases from the date that we have this roadmap announced, which is mid-September. And then for the future, we're looking at the next year timeframe. So in the future, again, more enhancements on the homepage. So homepage customized pages will become available. And also for the customers that are using the Microsoft Suite, the good announcement is that we are having integration with Microsoft Teams coming up. So moving on to the FDI roadmap, which is the next slide. As a reminder, FDI is the prepackaged analytics for Fusion Cloud applications, including ERP, SCM, CX, and HCM. For the ERP, just touching on a few of the roadmap items, we have sourcing analytics coming up, as well as the risk management. For the HCM, one main feature that I wanted to bring up today is the People Leaders Workbench. That's an intelligent application that provides actionable insights for people leaders. You may have heard that during our EVP TK announcement during the Cloud World. Also, we do have a lot of analytics coming up for Oracle Growth that includes talent, learning, and internal mobility. On the SCM side, we're looking at the SCM planning and product lifecycle management. And on the CX, the big announcement is the availability of Salesforce Analytics, that I'm sure Hitesh will cover that today. And also the CX Unity Analytics are among the features that we're looking towards too. So if you would like to learn more about these features, we do host quarterly roadmap webinars. The latest one were hosted during the October. So I'm going to put the link if you would like to learn more about the roadmap items. And the future ones will be in January, that you can find them in the events community page. And with that, I'll pass it back to Alex. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Fari. Yep, those roadmap sessions are really great. Please be sure to attend those to learn more. We're going to head over to the November's new features with Avinash. Thanks, Avinash, for joining.
Hey, Alex. Sure. Can I share my screen?
Yep, I'll stop sharing mine.
Can you see my screen now?
Looks good.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm going to cover the experience and data visualization features that we have released or added to the product with the November 2024 update, which is the last update of this year for OAC. Some of the features sort of align to our overall vision of simplifying the content curation process for the authors in particular, right? Starting with Canvas layouts. So privileged users, privileged authors with fine-grained permissions assigned to them can now, save Canvas layouts as dashboard templates, if you like, right? And these templates are available for other authors in the organization when it comes to the point of curating content for your team's need. And along with layouts, we also have added workbook themes, which is one of the highly asked ID Lab requests as well, along with layouts. Themes allows the author to define instance-wide styling and visualization properties that you can easily apply, and you can pick and choose from the workbook properties and easily apply to your Canvas and the entire workbook. Show height visualizations is an extension of a parameter experience, if you like. From a functionality perspective, authors can now use parameters to bind it to a visualization property that we have added to the product. And then design the experience such that certain visualizations are shown or hidden based on a user-driven action. We also added the folder experience for MyCalc, again, a popular ID Lab request for quite some time, and I'm in fact delighted for this particular feature. So the experience is pretty simple, but high value feature for our authors. Add as many folders and subfolders as you can in the data element tree in the left-hand side panel. And then you will be able to use a drag and drop experience to sort of organize your calc within folders. And then with the March update, we'll also provide the A to Z and Z to alphabetical sorting options. But with the November update, you can custom start using the drag and drop experience. We've also been working on this unified catalog experience, and as part of that vision, one of the first features that we have dropped in November is this notion of simplified catalog experience that provides a tree view, navigation style, and using the drag and drop experience, it allows users to easily manage, move, and perform any catalog operations. To be quite honest. You can now also create workbook URLs with persisted filter values, which has been a pain point in the product. So if you need to send a URL of a workbook that has a set of filter values selected by the user, right, all you do is select your filters, starting with workbook, dashboard, visualization filters, even users filters. And then the export dialog will show a new option to grab the URL, and you can then share the URL through Slack or Teams or whatever your internal collaboration tools are. The tooltip experience is enhanced with a new tooltip editor, a sort of a experience where the author can define custom verbose style tooltips, right? So now let's look into some of the feature demos. I'm going to start with a blank canvas. The blank canvas, or the empty state canvas, will show a new option to select a layout. When you hit on select a layout, these are the layouts that's available for me in this instance. The filter left and filter top is system layouts, meaning that we've shipped this out of the box, right, with the product, and will be available to all workbooks. And then the 4x4 and the demo tutorial layouts, or layouts that someone has created, a user with the fine-grained permission assigned to them is created, and they have made it available for other authors in this instance. I'm going to start with the filter left. Click OK. Now you can see that there's a bunch of empty containers that allow easy construction and design. Well, it allows easy design of the canvas, and also allows easy construction by way of dragging and dropping columns either from the data element tree, or you can access the auto insights panel that will now show you all the watch lists that you have curated. And in future, with January, we are adding ACLs to watch lists, which means that watch lists can be shared with other users, and all the shared watch lists with you will also be available in this UI. And you can simply drag and drop into these empty containers. And as you drop, notice that the grammar of the visualization is sort of populated on the left-hand side. And we'll bring in all of the information pertaining to the visualization definition that the user can then choose to manipulate or not, right? And the layout, once you click on a layout, the layout is like a modal, meaning that there is no bidirectional sync. Once you apply it, it's a template, right? The template is applied, and as a user, you're welcome to modify the canvas layout. So let's say that I want to change the orientation of this dashboard filter to the top section. I can continue curating my canvas, and because I have the fine-grained permissions assigned to me, I can also save this as a layout. I'm just going to call it demo. And when I click on save, now this layout becomes available to all the users in that instance, right? So this is the layout that I just created. So layout provides a very simplified author content curation process. The other feature that's also exciting for me is this notion of workbook themes. Themes allow you to apply styling properties to all the visualizations and the canvas layout design templates, right? So when I click on workbook themes, we're going to show this new dialog. The default is the Redwood theme, right? That is the default color stylings, color series and styling of font size and properties that we use in the product. And there are multiple themes available for me as an author. So I'm just going to choose a theme and apply. When I choose a theme, you can see that I moved from a light to a dark sort of a theme, and the theme properties is using the color series that was curated using our existing color management dialog. There are certain custom color for the background of the workbook and the font styles for the visualizations. The primary and the secondary font styles are set, which then is applied to the canvas that I'm currently working on, right? You can once you apply a theme, authors can customize the themes, and as long as you have the fine-grained permissions assigned to you, you can also save it as a new shared theme. And the console provides a new tile to manage layouts and themes, right? And the primary operations that that this privileged user can do is to set a layout or theme as a default. I'm just trying to find out. There should be one of these themes that is marked as a default theme for the instance, right? If not, you can right click on a theme and mark it as default. You can also mark a theme or layout as read only, which means that those themes are not allowed. They're allowed to be customizable and applied to your canvas, but they're not allowed to be saved or overwritten, right? So those are protected themes for the instance in itself. So pretty cool features. Definitely give it a try and share your feedback. And then let's talk about the calc folder options. So on the data element tree on the left-hand side, you can see that my calc has a few folders that I've created. Very simple experience. Right click on my calc root folder or any of the folders that you created to create subfolders. And just create a folder. And once you have the folders, you can start to manage them by simple drag and drop. And you can also custom sort these calculations within folders using the drag and drop experience. And then with the March 2025 update, we will add the alphabetical sorting feature as well. Let's move on to the tooltip experience. Let's see what happened. I think I lost some of my data here, but so you can see that on the scatter shot, there is a customized tooltip, like a very verbose style tooltip. And this is curated using the tooltip experience. So when you go to the property panel of the visualization and then launch the tooltip editor using the pencil icon, so this is going to bring up a new tooltip editor, right? So this is showing the customized tooltip that I have curated. But let's start with a Sankey chart where I believe I don't have a custom tooltip. So when you launch the something wrong here, let me go
Hey,
ahead and close.
Avinash, we actually need to move forward and switch over to the next presenter.
Oh, all right, no worries.
Sorry to
Yeah,
cut you off.
okay, yeah, I'll stop sharing and I'll pass it over to Philippe.
Thanks. That's some really awesome new features we're excited to see. All right. So let's move on to our next demo. We're going to take a look at visualizing geometry data natively with Philippe. Philippe, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much, Alex. Can you hear me fine?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity. So I'll send requests for sharing on my side. Oops, let me share.
Yep, you should be able to.
Can you see the map coming up?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Good evening, good morning, everyone. So I'm Philippe. I'm working in the product management department of Oracle Analytics. Just as a complement to what Avinash started and he couldn't finish the demo. So there is a playlist you may be familiar with on that shortcut here. For all the November features that includes a lot of the experience feature he mentioned, but feel free to go and watch it on YouTube. And there is a intentional feature with no plural here because of Bitly, but just in case you want to follow up on what Avinash started presenting. I want to talk to you today about a very exciting capability that's been added to Oracle Analytics in November, which is the ability to visualize geometry data file. This sounds kind of technical and cryptic, but it's super exciting and very valuable functionally. What it means is that Oracle Analytics, since November to 2024, allows you to consume geometry data from the database or geometry data from your text files, provided that they are in some specific format. And functionally, it means that you can represent, or your users can represent maps based on these geometry columns or data without the need for any preloaded GeoJSON layer, just directly in a dynamic way, drag your geometry column in a map. But not only, it also allows to do spatial calculations directly in the self-service analytics, in the workbook, basically. And then there's a lot more capabilities that are open because database like Oracle has a lot of spatial capabilities embedded that generate geometry that now can be visualized in. This is super exciting as far as I'm concerned. I don't have much time, so let me go right into a demo. I'm going to use an example of a CSV geometry source, if I can start this video. Okay, all right, so anyway, so I fast forwarded a bit. So this is an Excel spreadsheet that has a CSV data, which some buildings in Paris, and this here is the WKT, the geometry data. As you can see, it's a simple expression that says, okay, this defines a polygon that has a shape with different lats and lat longs pairs defining the whole polygon shapes. So if I carry on, so this, in my example, is a CSV file. If I had this data in a database, it would be a different sort of binary type of data, but it would mean the same geometry shape. So if I upload this data set in Oracle Analytics, it will now recognize the geometry data type. And you can see at the bottom, I'm fast forwarding a bit for time's sake, but you can see that that CSV file I was showing you a moment ago generates or is recognized as a specific data type, which is called geometry. You can see at the bottom, building geometry. And that building geometry, representing the buildings of some area in Paris, now, if I double click on it, shows up directly as a map with all the details of every single geometry. In this case, these are polygons. They could be points, they could be lines, they could be anything defined in my geometry, and it represented as a map right away with all these details. So of course, I can interact, or let's say I can enrich this map just like any other map that you're familiar with in Oracle Analytics. I have added the tooltip with the ID showing the building number here on the tooltip. I can color it with any data. I could change the geometry definition in the CSV and represent it again, and it would refresh, just like any other data set. Of course, it's a map, so I'm going to edit a background here to see some of the Paris map background. But you can see here, I went into the maps properties, and this is not pointing to a GeoJSON layer as we used to have in maps in Oracle Analytics. It's a geometry type of layer, so it's on the fly. And of course, all the other capabilities, such as the formatting, the type, just work exactly the same in that map. Let me add another data set to this. And that other data set is not joined to my initial data set. And to keep it simple, I also took another data set that was a CSV. And you can see that other data set also has a geometry. It's WKT named. So I'm going to add a layer on my map and simply drag that other geometry on top of my existing layer. So now I have two layers overlaid on the map, the points first and the buildings in the back. I can beautify this a little bit, go in the definition of my points layer, make it, it's just a map like you're used to. It could be the point layer could be represented as a cluster, as a heat map, as points. I can format points, can change, remove outlines, reduce the size, change data labels, and so on. Do all sorts of things. I have these dynamics maps showing me my geometries very easily by a simple drag and drop. So now the interactivity of the map doesn't matter that it is a geometry. In this case, I have built a table on the right, and you can see as I select on the table, the geometry is getting selected on the map, just like you're used to. Even though we're showing about 16,000 polygons here, I'm selecting some polygons. I'm going to keep selected only these polygons. And of course, my table is filtered. So the same interactiveness that you're used to with map works with geometries. Let me back off a little bit. Let me show you the spatial calculation now. So let's go ahead and create a calculation. And let's leverage the capabilities that have been added with geometry. So let me type geo, and you can see here a series of new calculations that have been added as part of Oracle Analytics, calculating area, distance, length, relate within distance. This is a subset of what can be done in Oracle database, but it can be done in Oracle Analytics irrespective if it is a database or not. If it is a database, everything will function chip, but if not, it'll be computed by Oracle Analytics itself. Let me just calculate distance. I'm going to select my building geometry on one end and my WKT geometry. But in this case, I did prepare my data set so that it properly joined both of them. So now let's go and select the building. And with that building, completely random select that I did, let's show all the points with the distance to this building. So I'm going to select my points could be restaurants, could be stores, whatever. And I'm going to select a table or a pivot table, and I'll shuffle this around a little bit. So these are all the points on the left, on the right of the screen with the distance, which is the last column, to that building that we select, right? So now, how about we represent these points, and how about we filter on the distance that we've just calculated? Let's filter on everything between, I don't know, 150 meters and 300 meters to that shape, right? So what are the restaurants in that distance? Boom, right there. So how about we change the distance a little bit? I don't know, make it a little shorter, 100 meters. Now you can see the power that this brings into your visualization. I'm going to add another building here in my workbook, no, my canvas, I'm sorry, and see if we can calculate also the round of restaurants around that building. So here's that other building I've selected, that green box, and all the restaurants or all the points that are in the same distance, and then yet a third one, and so on. So you can have a lot of capabilities there, visually represent any shape and calculating some interactiveness between these two, between any of these shapes. Of course, that brings a ton of capabilities. If you go with other examples such as database examples, you can have functional. I made the point of using buildings and points just to show these two capabilities, but you can apply this to any use case. You can visualize it in many ways. This is a hurricane path, and these are the counties that are in a distance of 350 miles of that hurricane path. These are a different set of coloring showing all the counties, and these are the ones touching or inside or outside of the path, and so on. Very rich capabilities. I'm seeing the clock click around, so I'll stop here. As I said, what is in the database is now available to be visualized in Oracle Analytics. And this slide is just showing a few examples of what can be done in spatial calculations in the database. This is amazing, extremely powerful. You can hear I'm excited with this. I encourage you to go and check out the videos and let me know if you have questions. Thank you very much for your time. And thanks for having me, Alex.
Thanks, Philippe. Some really awesome, powerful data to work with there. Really excited. Obviously, always love working with spatial data. The hurricane stuff was pretty cool. I know you have to drop, Philippe, so thanks for joining.
Thank you.
We have, as he mentioned, and I put this link in the chat, the PMs always make a new features playlist. The November one has been released, so go on and check out some of these features that were either mentioned today or we didn't get a chance to mention it because we just don't have time. Short videos that are going to show you how to use the new features. And just a reminder, all the links that I'm putting in the chat will also be sent out in a follow-up email for you to access. All right, let's take a look at our Fusion Data Intelligence CX demo with Hitesh. Hitesh, thanks for joining.
Thanks, Alex. Can I share my screen?
Yep, I will stop sharing mine.
All right. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Looks good.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Hitesh. I'm the Senior Principal Product Manager for the Fusion Data Intelligence CX team. And what I'm going to show you is the Salesforce Analytics capabilities that we have launched recently with our latest release. So for those of you who are aware, up until now, what used to happen was any FDI instance always required a Fusion host URL, which means you need to be a Fusion customer, Fusion supply chain, ERP, HCM, or CX. But then with this capability, you can very well spin up a FDI instance, even if you do not have any Fusion application. So you are a Salesforce customer or an Eloqua customer, you can still go ahead and create your FDI instance. Once you are in the FDI instance, I'm just showing you console quickly. You can go to manage connection, provide your Salesforce credentials for authentication, and then you will start seeing this Salesforce as a data source available, through which you'll be able to set up the managed pipeline. So these are the two pipelines. You go enable it, and once the activation is done, all of your Salesforce data would be brought into the warehouse, which will be available to you for reporting purposes. Additionally, We have also taken care that if there are one or more optional features, those are enabled on the Salesforce side. For example, territory management is something that you plan to use, or there's campaign influence that you plan to use in Salesforce. We have had a capability where we can expose those dimensions. So, for example, now on the left-hand side, whatever you are seeing is all the Salesforce data, Salesforce subject areas that we have designed. And again, this is all out of the box, managed pipeline, managed subject areas and content. So the Salesforce opportunity to what all objects it's associated with, it's all shown up here. And if I'm using one or more features, say territory, the territory dimension will light up here. If I'm not using it, it'll not. So it becomes easier for the end users to use it. If I have my opportunity dimension, what all columns am I exposing? It's all shown here. And like with Fusion applications, if there are custom objects or custom fields which are created in the Salesforce instance, those can very well be brought in using the similar capabilities that we use today, which is the data augmentation. So I can just show you the demo, how the data looks like. I've intentionally used the titles in terms of questions so that one would be able to quickly relate to it. So Uh, typically, there's a integration app available wherein Eloqua campaigns data is pushed to Salesforce, primarily for customers who are using Salesforce and Eloqua. And this is Salesforce CRM for this demo. So how many leads were actually created in the CRM system, of which how many are converted? So I have this chart available. Again, all data coming from Salesforce. Similarly, what all sources my leads came through. And I can very well have campaigns and campaign members created in Salesforce from Eloqua, and through which I can derive this information. Similarly, the information around, hey, what all campaigns have been more effective for me? So, which campaigns help me create more number of opportunity revenue? So I know Black Friday sale got me 22 million last year. Wonderful. So if I am a sales VP or a manager and I want to forecast for my territory, I can bring that information in. I can report upon what all territories are forecasted, what is the open pipeline for different territories for the next quarter. So that information is also available. Now, what we saw was just around marketing and CRM, but then we can push it a level up. So let's say I'm a customer who's using Salesforce CRM, Eloqua for marketing, and I'm using let's say Oracle Fusion ERP supply chain for my ERP and supply chain needs. Now, what happens is typically in such a setup, I will set up a situation wherein I'll be able to sync my Oracle party ID into Salesforce or Salesforce account ID into party ID. So I have both the account entities mapped to each other. Now, in that case, I can create a report like this. So what I'm looking at is a customer and what its world looks like, right? So for a customer, I can see, hey, how many leads I've created through different channels. Now, this information is coming from Salesforce CRM. What is my open pipeline by different products? This is again all opportunity information coming from Salesforce CRM for a customer. My won and lost revenue trend, how does it look like in the opportunity world? What is my activity rate for my sales reps and stuff? So all these first four ways, the data purely came from Salesforce. Now for the same account in the Salesforce, which is essentially a sold to customer in the ERP world, what is my booked revenue, right? And then what is my active MRR trend, which is coming from subscription system? What are my cancellations and return trends for the same customer, right? It's coming from supply chain. What is my booking invoice and revenue for the last 12 months? Again, coming from Fusion ERP. And for the same customer, if I am planning to visit, I need to know at any point in time how many SRs were raised or open. So it seems that they have around 70 SRs open coming from Salesforce service, or it can also come from Fusion service based on whatever I'm using. So as long as I have an entity that ties up all of this information together, I can very well get a customer 360-degree view, which helps me understand the entire scenario, whatever is happening for a chosen customer, no matter what system they are using. So this is one. And then I have account-based marketing. This is a quick demo where what we're trying to see is another use case, Eloqua marketing, Salesforce CRM. I'll try to wrap this up fast. I have a new product which I'm launching. I want to target to a particular product. It's a cross-sell product. So I want to see, hey, how many customers are using PS150 server? I want to cross-sell the new product to them. So I've identified the group of the customers. And then what I do is I see, hey, what is the account engagement for those customers for those 10 customers. So I get all this information, again, coming from marketing system. And based on the engagement score, I shortlist the customers that I want to target. And then let's say this is one of the customers, and I've run some campaigns, I've targeted. I see how the engagement score has been changing. What are the top campaigns? What are the top assets that we have reached out to? And finally, once the campaign is run, what is it that it got me, right? What is the revenue it got me? So I can tie all of this information together coming from Eloqua and Salesforce. And if I want to drill down to a particular opportunity, so for this account, for this opportunity, I see that all these purple dots are the campaign responses that I have received. So it seems that 12 campaign responses it took me to get a foot in the door. I have the opportunity open. And then moving the opportunity to the next stage requires less and less responses. And I know, hey, once I reach out to certain contacts who have been responding earlier and now, I can keep the opportunity pushing further until it's closed. So these are some of the use cases we can derive using Salesforce CRM Analytics. So far, we have Salesforce CRM available. And like I said, any custom object, custom fields, we can always bring in using FTI capability. Yeah, that's all from the Salesforce side.
Thanks, Hitesh. That was a great demo. Thanks for giving us some insight there on FDI. So we are going to move over to our data visualizations, give you some of the art of the possible, some inspiration that the Oracle teams have been working on. We're going to start with Anita first. Anita, thanks for joining. I'm going to put links to her work in the chat if you want to check them out also.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. My name is Anita Gupta, and I am from the HR reporting and analytics team here at Oracle. And I'm excited to be here today and share my award-winning dashboard with all of you. So let me share my screen. Alex, let me know if you can see my screen.
Looks great.
All right. So this visualization is all about solving a challenging business problem in Oracle Analytics. And the challenge is employee attrition. Attrition, as you might know, is the problem of employees leaving at a faster rate. So this analysis basically deep dives into the data and brings out insights for the business leader so that the business leader can take some actions to solve the problem of attrition. So as you can see, this analysis is very in-depth. It has several charts and graphs. So in the interest of time, we are going to look at a couple of charts only and see how we can derive insights from them. So before I go into the charts, let me briefly explain the data source that I have used and also some of the data steps that I have done to prepare the data. So the data set is coming from a very famous HR attrition case study, and that is available online. So the data source is in Excel. And let me show the Excel as well. So this Excel is having more than 1,000 rows and more than 30 different variables. So that is the challenge, to dive into the data and get the insights. So what I did is I uploaded this Excel in Oracle Analytics, and I did the data manipulation steps there. And let me quickly show that to you as well. So on the left-hand side, you can see some of the data manipulation steps I have done here with just a few simple clicks. And I brought this cleaned data set into a workbook. And then I created the charts and visuals and assembled them in the manner that you see here. All right, now let us go into a few charts and let us see how we can read the insights from these charts. So let us see this chart, radar chart for job level, and the pink section denotes the attrition. So quickly looking at this chart, we can say that for job level 1, attrition is more pronounced as compared to other levels. Now let us look at this box plot. So this box plot helps us understand, this box plot helps us understand what is the relation between commute and attrition. Is commute impacting attrition? And it is very interesting to note that in HR department, the median distances of the employees that left, they were traveling way higher as compared to the median value of the distances being traveled by the current employees. So looks like employees in the HR department are not happy with the longer commutes. And the business leader can really implement some actions, like maybe they have a shuttle service, or maybe they try a remote work or a hybrid work. But this is a super interesting because you saw how from raw data, we cleaned the data and we brought them into charts. And now we are interpreting these charts for insights, and that is leading to actionable recommendations. So that is super interesting. Now let us look at the final chart for this presentation. And this is about the Marimekko chart. And in this Marimekko chart, we are trying to understand in which tenure do employees left the most. So notice the width of the chart. The width of the chart tells us the relative size of the particular category of tenure. And within that category, we can also see the extent of attrition. So for example, let us look at 0 to 2 year. We know that this comprises of only 8% of the population. But within this, we can see that nearly half of the employees left. So this is a crucial insight. And also notice that once the employee crosses the 2-year mark, the attrition significantly drops. So again, a very important insight for the business leader that if somehow due to some intervention, if employees can cross or retain for 2 years, attrition is going to be taken care of. So those were some of the few charts which I wanted to share with you today. Hopefully, you got some design ideas for your own visualization, and also how we can use advanced charts and visualizations in Oracle Analytics to go deep into the data set and find hidden insights for our business leaders so that they can take better and improved decisions, all by using the power of Oracle Analytics. Thank you so much for listening. Back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Anita. Those were some really great insights you were able to discover there with your data visualization. And I forgot to mention that Anita and William, who's coming up next, they were both winners of an internal data visualization challenge that we ran here at Oracle this past year. Same type of data visualization challenge that Maddie was talking about in the beginning that we're going to run publicly. These were two of our winners here, so we're super excited to have them presenting some of their data visualizations. Thanks, Anita. We're going to move on to William now. William, thanks for joining. We're excited to see what you have.
Hey, Alex, thank you for inviting me. And can I share my screen now?
Yes, I'll stop sharing mine.
All right.
Looks good.
All right. Can you hear me okay? And can you see my screen?
I can hear you. It looks like I'm seeing a white screen. I'm not sure if
That's not a mistake. This
okay.
is why I face every time I start a new project. The white canvas is very difficult to face it. I'm going to show you today how I went from a blank canvas to a visualization like this one. I always wanted to build a visualization on the tourism for the United States, and I didn't know where to start. So I asked Midjourney to give me an example. The prompt was literally dashboard of tourism in the United States and gave me some pretty cool examples. More here, and I got really inspired. I'm gonna build something like this. All I needed right now was some data. So I focused on a national parks because that's a big part of the US tourism. So I had my data, I had the inspiration, I was ready to start building some really cool charts. And my first try at building my visualization on US tourism look kind of like this. So it didn't look like my mid-journey inspiration. This was back in 2023. I got a little discouraged. I stopped. I put this on the back burner for months. And recently, with the summer and traveling season again, I got inspired again. So I revisited my mid-journey visualization. And then I say, okay, let's go ahead and get serious now. Let's get some hex colors. This is really taking it seriously this time. And I little by little, I started building each of my visualizations that I'm going to walk you through here in a second. This is close to the finish line. All I needed here was some background to make it stand out. My background tool that I use is Figma, but you can build backgrounds in PowerPoint or any other tool. This is what it looks like at the very end. So that's how I went from a blank canvas to a visualization like this one. I'm going to walk you through some of the charts that I built here. Some are right out of the box. Can you see my visualization now?
Yes, looks good.
All right. So out of the box charts, like Alex is going to add the link so you can explore yourself. But out of the box, tree maps, radar bars, scatter plots. I'm going to show you what I did a little bit with the maps. I located every park and presented some states information. I added a second and a third map for Alaska and Hawaii. Here I have my grid heat map to show the number of visits per year per month. And I extended that with the second and third visualizations of bars to give you the numbers of the months, to give numbers of the years. So one of the insights of the visualization is this the slowness on visits due to the COVID pandemic that's 2020. You can clearly see from your grid heat map. String graph, I love string graphs. They're great to show you the change of volume over time. This is just a stacked area with a calculated field here below. If you remove that calculated field, it's going to look just like a stacked area. But in order to provide that string graph effect, you add a calculated field that it make it look like how it changed over time. Oracle Analytics allow me to put some reference lines and bands to show what happened here, why there was so much decrease. This was World War II. This was due to the pandemic. And finally, another type of chart that I like is my bee swarm. This is just a scatter plot, but then I calculated my X's and Y's to make the national parks look like they're following like a beehive. So really cool things you can do in OIC. All you need to do is to get the inspiration, get your data, and start building and just share your work. And you can always improve your work, but just start on it. And I wanted to motivate you to start building in OIC some really cool charts. That's it for me.
Thanks, William. I appreciate you sharing your journey from, the blank canvas that can seem so intimidating to how you got to your final DV. I think that's really important for us all to recognize that, that's a big step to take, and sometimes it can be intimidating getting to that final design step and how to analyze the data. So I appreciate you sharing that. And if we're going to move on to the Q&A, but if you'd like to see more of these data visualization kind of demos that people are doing personally, I know we show you features and how to use them, but if you'd like more of kind of the art of the possible and how people are actually building DVs, send me an email, let me know. We can hold a separate webinar just kind of going over those and giving you some ideas on how to actually design and make a DV. So you're not staring at that white screen that can seem so intimidating sometimes. Hopefully some of Avinash's features that he showed today will help with that as well. So we are going to move over to the Q&A section. Let me ask one of my colleagues here to read a message off for me. I'm just going to look and launch a poll here while we start that.
I could jump in if there's time for a bit of Q&A, Alex. Fabulous. We've got a note from Mohammed on the visualizations and the visualization gallery, asking if there's a way we can download those data visualizations. We are reviewing that kind of feature add-on that is on our sprint plan for the web page update. We don't yet have that, but you should expect that as we go. So thank you for raising that.
Thanks, Maddie. Again, I just popped up a poll if you can let us know what you think of the OA Lives. And if there's something different you'd like to see, please let me know. We're always open to suggestions. I do want to ask if you had trouble actually getting into the OA Live today with the email that was sent with the link to join Zoom. So I'm not sure if it was actually a link with the Zoom, or if you did have an issue, ask yourself if you have re-registered for the OA Live within the past 2 months, because what happened was I had separate OA Lives, different webinar set up, one for November, one for February. And what I ended up doing was I canceled those and made it a reoccurring one just so it was easier to track. And then you could unsubscribe if you wanted to in the Zoom link. So if you did re-register in the past 2 months and you still had that issue, let me know so I can kind of figure out what happened on the Zoom side for that link so it doesn't happen again. Okay, let's keep going with the questions here. Let's see, can workbook themes layout be applied retroactively to workbooks we've already made before the feature was released? Avinash had to jump off for another meeting, and Philippe did too. Does anyone else on the call know the answer to this? We might have to get back to you then, Brian, and see about that. Okay. Brian, if you just want to shoot me an email, I'll loop in Avinash and we'll get that answered for you. So will the recording be available later today or tomorrow? The recording we put on the community site, so you can find it in 2 places. You can find it on the community site. When you go back, you can, where the videos were, like announcements, we'll post it there for you to access. We also post it on the Oracle Analytics YouTube page. It's not the playlist, the November playlist, but it's in the Oracle Analytics channel. There's an OA Live playlist. We put it there as well. Give us a few days. I have to edit the video slightly. We have to send it to marketing and just get it cleaned up before we can post it. I'd say by next Tuesday, it will be available for review. Okay. Yep, Mohammed, it looks like you had a message for Philippe. Unfortunately, he had to leave. If you don't have his email, you can email me. It's in the Zoom. It has my email, and I will include him. I'll connect you. Okay, Mohammed also commented, thanks, William. This is great. Can we have some deep dive sessions on this? Looks so beautiful. I'm happy to learn. I'm glad that you loved it as much as I did. Yes, we can definitely have just a session focused on, how to actually, build a DV, make it look beautiful, discover some insights there. What we'll do is we'll pick some of the people from our community site that have posted their DVs. So if you've posted it, if you have a DV that you'd like to post to the community site, go ahead and post it there, just a screenshot of it, and we can reach out to you and you can share on a webinar how you did it. Please know confidential information. We want data sets like William used that's, a public data set, no sensitive information. All right, and we have 2 questions from Sancha. Will there be support for newer versions of Oracle database and Microsoft SQL Server for the repository creation utility database with the next Oracle Analytics Server release? Currently, Oracle Database 19 and Microsoft SQL Server 2019 are highest support versions. Does anyone from the Oracle team that's still on know the answer to this? Take the silence as no. And Sancha had a follow-up question. I think, Sancha, I'll have to follow up with the questions offline and find the right contact on Oracle to answer these. Again, if you could shoot me an email just so I don't forget, or if anyone else has questions or comments on the OA Live today that they'd like to share with me, you have my email. Please feel free to reach out or reach out on the community site. You can also post questions there. In the form section, you can have anyone from Oracle, from partners to peers to users, customers, anyone can answer the questions. The response time is really quick. Our ambassadors, they're on it. They're really great at answering questions. So feel free to pop any of your questions into the forums. Any other questions, any comments from the Oracle team as we wrap up?
No, just big thank yous to you, Alex. Great session. I think everyone really enjoyed.
Thanks, everyone. We're so happy to bring this to you today, and we look forward to bring you the next one in a few months, and I will check on the Zoom links for y'all. With that, thank you all, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.